Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. This time I'm helping a friend out. He's got a 1955 Chevy and it goes down the road nicely really, but not at the moment it doesn't because it needs some new half shaft bearings. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be swapping out his half shaft bearings for him. So, but this is the car. Nice, ain't it? But anyway, here are the half shafts. What we've got to do is we've got to get these retaining collars off just here. Then the bearings are tucked behind there, and part of the gaskets are falling off as well. So yeah, basically we've got to get this apart. And here's the new bearings, and they should have. Yeah, there they are. They've got new retaining rings in them as well. So what I'll do is I'll get myself ready and we'll start. Okay, to start with, what we'll do is, I think what we'll do is get rid of all these old bits of gasket on here to start off with. There we go. To be honest, there don't seem to be a lot left on it, but, right, that's one. So this one here, yeah, basically just falling off. They're a little bit on the old crispy side, but there we go. Probably get them a bit better when they're off with a wire brush. Right, so just get rid of the rubbish. So, right, what we've got to do is try and get these collars off here. Now, if I pick this one up, and you can see it just there. It's this collar here. Now, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to cut it with a disc cutter just to show you. So, I'll get the disc cutter ready and we'll get that one off. Okay, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to put a cable tie around here just to keep this flange out of the way. Just so it don't drop down into my work area where I'm working. So, but I'll just put that cable tie around there, like that. It just gives me a nice bit of room in there. So, here we go, with a disc cutter. Right, I'm nearly all the way through. These rings are actually an interference fit, so they're sort of like under tension. So once you get close to the end, it should split on its own. But sometimes it doesn't. But I'm nearly there, and it doesn't matter if you cut into the bearing because we're going to take that off anyway. But what you don't want to be doing is cutting into any of the studs. So I'm nearly there now. I'm just going to give it a little bit more. And I might have to get a chisel in there and just chisel it. So right, here we go. Well, it's not pinged itself, so I'll get myself a chisel. Right, here we go. I'll get a chisel in that slot there, what I've cut. And I'm not sure, but I think that might have gone. Yeah, there it is. It's gone. So there we go. One retaining ring. Right, I'll just do the other one and I'll be back with you. So I'm going to do the same as what I did with the retaining collars. I'm going to cut through the bearing with the disc cutter as far as I can get. and hopefully go through this as much as I can, which is the outer race of the bearing, and hopefully enough to chisel it and weaken it and chisel it off. So, but without actually cutting into this plate here. So what I'll do is I'll get on with that, and I'll be back with you as soon as I've done it, because it is going to be making quite a bit of noise and a fair few sparks as well. So I'll see you in a bit. Right, I've got through a bit of it. I'm going to give it a go with a hammer. So, oh yeah, I've got a bit of it. Now it could be, or it could be a bit easier if you used oxyacetylene, but I'm trying to show you, because I appreciate not everybody's got oxyacetylene. I have, which I could burn it off and job's done. But I'm just trying to show you with basic hand tools that you can still do the same job. So right, I'm going to have to get something else to. We'll see whether it goes this side. Not quite. Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, we'll get that out. Get the bearings out. I don't know whether you can see them in there. Get all those out and get all this off. Right. There we go. So we just need to get this track out now, which has got the bearings in. So I'll just get this out here. There we go. Right, I'll get something else to get in there to get them bearings out. So right, let's find a chisel or something. Let me have a look. That'll do. So I just need this is an old wood chisel I've got. It tends to get used for quite a lot of stuff that it's not supposed to, but there we go. That's the ring that holds all the bearings in. So I've just got the oil seal there, if you can see it. We get that oil seal out, that's the other side of the bearing. So we'll get that off of there, like that. And then we just got there we go. So basically all we've got to do now is like we did with the retaining collar, is just cut it through there and it'll be off. So I'll get that off and I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, so here we go. Same as what we did with the retaining collar. So whack this one with a hammer as well. And there we go. It will go in a minute. It's nearly there. There we go. Right, so I'll get everything cleaned up on this one and I'll get the other one off and then I'll be back with you. Okay, so I've done one. What I'm doing is I'm just tapping out these retaining bolts. What it is basically so I can clean them up. It'd be easier to clean them up. That one's a bit stuck, but I'll have to put something on there to sort of take away the shock. But right, it's not going to go, so let me find something else. That'll do. Not supposed to do this, but I can't be bothered to go outside in a minute. There we go. So what I'm going to do, put all this lot in the parts washer and clean them up, get all the old grease off. Right, so here we go. We'll get it in here. Get all these cleaned up. In fact, actually, I'll get these cleaned up. I'll go and get the half shafts, get that cleaned up, and I'll be back with you. So we're now on to making the new gasket. Piece of card. Cereal boxes are pretty good for this. What I do is I'm holding that down. I'm actually pushing my fingers up on the internal face because it's still a little bit grubby. I mean, you can actually do it if it was dirty if you wanted to, but just pressing up there just to get the inside ring, if you like, that I need to cut. So that's that. While it's there, I'm going to draw around the outside like so, and I'll mark the 4 holes as well. There we go. So that, hopefully, yeah, there we go. That's my new gasket. So basically I've got to cut around the inside here, knock out those, do the outside, copy that, and that's my 2 gaskets. So I'll get those sorted out and I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, so gaskets are made. I've had the retaining, or I've cleaned up the retaining plates, bolts are all cleaned up. I've cleaned up the half shafts, got all the loose flaky paint off and anything else and all the loose rust. What I'm going to do now is give them a coat of paint before I put the bearings on, because I've got to paint these first before I can actually put the bearings on, so because these go on first. So I'll go do that and I'll speak to you in a bit. Okay, so now the paint's dry, we need to put the studs back into these retainers. I've already done one, but I'll show you how to do one. So basically you just need a socket, and these have got a little serrated edge at the bottom there, so you just have to knock them back in again. So I've got them on a socket here. Make sure it just doesn't bottom out at the bottom, and you just need to tap it in. There we go, until it's seated, and just do that with the rest. I mean, some of them don't, you don't have to take the studs out, but I did because it was easier to clean them up and paint them. Plus also to actually do the gaskets. So, right, 2 more. There we go, they're all seated. So, there we go, that's the 2 of those done. Right, now we're coming to the bearings. So, basically, we've got to put, there we go, put that on there, onto the half shaft, and now we just need our new bearing. So we've got a new bearing here. Make sure, if you didn't do it beforehand, you should have done, was take a picture of which way, especially if the bearings are something like this with an oil seal on the outside of one side, you need to get it on the right side. I know that the oil seal was up the top here, up this end. So there we go. We'll just drop that onto there. Now what we've got to do is we've got to tap that on. So there we go. I've got a little punch here. So it's just a matter of just going around it. And just go all the way around it like that until it's seated. I'm going to do these because you don't want to hear me banging around and everything else. So I'm going to put both of these bearings on now, and then I'll come back to you and show you about the collar. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so the bearings are on now, and you'll know when they're actually down because the tone changes. You can hear it. It doesn't pick up on camera very well, otherwise I'd have shown you, but as you're actually tapping it down, it's got a different tone to once it's actually seated. It sort of like gets a dead ring, if you like. Before it's actually seated, it's sort of like got a ring with it. But once the bearing's actually seated against the collar at the back of the half shaft, it'll go dead. It's like a dull ring. So you'll know you've actually got it down. Yeah, especially like on these that you can't see whether you've actually reached the collar or not. Right, so now with the retaining collar, exactly the same thing. Put it on the top, and again using your drift, you just tap it equally, a little bit either side. Keep it even, because that way it keeps, if you keep it even, it keeps the collar going on square. So what I'll do is I'll get these on, because obviously you don't want to hear me banging around and what have you. So I'll get these two on and then I'll be back with you. Okay, so the retaining collars are on now. Exactly the same thing, just go around it evenly, get them down, and you'll hear a dull thud. Once it's actually seated, you'll know it's actually down. Right, for the last little bit now, I've got a bit of instant gasket sort of thing, and I'm going to put a very small smidgen on here. Basically all it is going to be to hold the gasket on, so I don't lose it. So but it's not going to hurt it anyway. So and it's sort of like a rubbery based instant gasket anyway, so yeah, it will just squash up and take out any imperfections that's there. So we'll get this on. Right, we'll get a gasket, put it on there. I'll poke it through the holes like that. Get it in there. That one and that one. And we'll just push it down into the instant gasket there, just so it holds it. And then my friend, when he's ready, all he's got to do is put a smidgen on this side when he bolts it back up. So and it'll be ready to go. So right, I'll do that one, and now I'll do this one. Again, I'm only putting a very, very thin smear on it. All it is to stop the gasket from falling off and keeping it flat. Anyway, so I don't want to lose it either. So there we go. I'll get the gasket again. Put this one on here. I mean, technically, you shouldn't even have to put any sealant on it. It should, any gasket material on it, it should seal with just on the gasket. But as they say, every little bit helps. So I'll push the gasket down into that. There, like that. There we go. So that's it. That's a pair of half shafts with a bearing swapped out. So if you've got any car really that's got a live axle, what they call a live axle, so it's a solid axle, it's not independent or anything like that, the theory of it is exactly the same. So some of them don't have collars, some of them do. But so yeah, basically that's how you can get them off, the old bearings off with basic hand tools. So I hope that's been informative for you. So thanks for watching. Please like my page and give us a subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.